disagree, and 3 neutral.
We can sit. Can sit.
Yeah, so can they see me? And okay, 4 agree, and 5 strongly agree. Okay. Okay. Now, what type of measure? Scale. Not ordinal. There is neutral. Neutral. It's a false origin. So it is scale. So here if you only get 3, only scale. Scale is both it takes. Okay. Now, you have same type of questions from strongly disagree. So just copy it. Okay. So I will copy this and paste here. And this is Q2 underscore 2. Second question. I will remove this question. It's repeated. So the question is to prevent infection public places, public transportation. This is the actual study done in Bangalore during lockdown period.
And these questions we have to manually enter, is it?
No, from the questionnaire you will paste.
From Excel sheet, but Excel sheet we have
Excel
to
sheet you will get. Sometimes when you have multiple responses, it will be problem. So you should be careful.
So questionnaire we have to copy and paste.
Yeah, from the questionnaire here for the day you can paste it.
Okay.
But coding and all you have to give later. Even if you get from Excel, but coding you have to give later.
Coding you can't copy.
No, you won't get from Excel. Data will come. Data will come.
Once you enter the coding for one question. So for the rest of the questions can you copy?
No.
Every question you have to put one equal to strongly agree.
No, you have to copy. I copied now. I did that again.
Okay.
Yeah, I just copied. You don't have to type again.
Okay.
So copy, I'm copying now, paste. Everything has done. I'm changing the variable name. Q2, third question in this. So this I will remove because this is the second question itself. So I'll go for the next one. It's something related to isolation of people. Okay, so isolation of people who are infected with COVID-19 are effective ways to reduce the spread of virus. This is another question asked in a Likert scale. Okay.
Values, everything is copied.
Huh?
Values.
Yes, values.
As it is copied.
Yeah, values from the previous line when I copy, values will be automatically copied. You need not type it again, that's what I said.
Yes, yes, yes.
Only the label and the question number, question variable name you have to type. Even the measure will be copied. If you want to delete it, you can delete it also. Just right click and clear. You can do that. Okay, in between, say when this one, that monitor the highlighted means you are not saved. Okay, so click on that, you will be saved. Okay, just you have to click on that. Once you save as with the file name, you will be saved. Okay, I will go to another type of questions here now. Next, yes or no questions are there. Okay. Question number 3-1. Third question. I have increased hand washing. Okay, I have increased hand washing. So options given are 1, yes, and you can use 0 for no or 2 for no. It's up to you. Anything you can use. If you give 0 for no, it's the entry of the data also very easy. So I'm getting 0 for no. Okay, and what type of the measurement is this? Yes. Nominal. Yes or no nominal. Like just like true or false. Huh?
First, no and common list size.
It's okay because 0. What is the thing?
No, that is the scale measurement.
No. 0 for no, 1 for yes, it is nominal. The value of that is not considered. That's what I said. For 0 you can give 2 also. You can give 3 also. But the value is not considered for nominal. It's just the coding done. That's why we have done nominal. Got it? You can give 2 also for no. No problem. Because I gave 0, so it came in the order of the mathematical number system. 0, 1, 2, etc. I can give 2 also. No problem. I can give 2. Here I have got nominal. That is the number's magnitude is not considered there. So I will copy now and paste. Copy and paste. So here Q32, second question. So my question here is, I increase spending on cleaning supplies. I increased spending on cleaning supplies. Yes or no? Okay. So, okay, I'll take one more question. So, I'll copy again this question. And the yes or no, that is Q33. Q33. I have limited going outside only to essential trips, that is grocery. I have limited going outside. I have cut something there. Lengthy question was there. I have limited going outside. That is go for only limited trips. That is to buy grocery. Okay. Now I will go for another type of question. So I have never, rarely, sometimes, often, and always. Okay, fine. Question. Q41. So I have given family and your friends. It is the visit of the family or friends to your house or your visit to other houses. Okay? So here the options are never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. First one, never. 2, rarely. 3, sometimes. 4, often. 5, always. Okay, while framing the questions and getting the response from the respondents, if you are under the assumption that there is an equal gap in between this, that is never, rarely, sometimes, often, and always, maybe the 10% gap, 20% gap like this, then it is introvert. So there is no equal gap, but in an increasing order, then it is order. Is that clear? So usually, if you want to write in your writings when you write about this, so the equal gap, then you can go for scale. While correcting also, you have to inform this to the respondents. Scale of 10%, 20%. Okay, I'll copy this. Now, Q4, second question under this. That is question on health or medical professional. Okay? So, have you visited the health or medical professionals? So, if it is never, no, otherwise answer.
If you wanted to delete one of the questions, then what you will
Okay, you want to delete. See, I typed something here now. Right click, clear. Right click, clear. Okay? Now you see, I will type here Q43. I'll type Q43. But this question is same as Q42. Okay? I will go to the previous one. Right click, copy. Okay? I'll come here. Paste. We can see the difference. Q43 will not change. Okay? And you have to change here. If you give different variable name and copy, that variable name will remain same. It will not allow other duplication of the variable name. Okay? So, third one, something social media. So, have you approached social media or the persons have approached you relating opinion on COVID, etc. Okay. There is one more type of question here. Not at all to extremely concerned. Okay. So that is question number 5. First one. How concerned do you feel about the novel coronavirus COVID-19? The extent of concern for this. So, you can see given not at all concerned, a little concerned, moderately concerned, very concerned, and extremely concerned. So you can go for this.
Instead of ordinal or whatever we put scale or things.
No, it won't give you. How to? You have to identify. It won't give you. So these are the categories. Not at all concerned, a little concerned, moderate. I am giving you all possible ways of asking questions. But depending on the question, again, these categories. Again, suppose you keep the gap between them as constant, it is scale. If it is not constant, it is ordinal. It is in an increasing order. Okay? So people prefer it to be always scale. You will not take for scale analysis, only ordinal analysis you can do. Scale analysis. Okay. I take two more in this, just paste. So next one is faintness or dizziness. Faint, whether you are concerned about this. I just copied, so I am not changing anything there. I'll go for the next one for not at all concerned. Okay. Feeling no interest in things. Feeling no interest in things. Are you concerned about it? Okay. Yes. Never I have done. I think that's enough. So, we can see we type 19 variables now. 19 questions. Isn't it? So, save it. Save it. Go to data view. Go to data view. Can you see all the 19 variables names appeared on the column headings? Isn't it? So get all 19 names on the column. You can see here. So here, first one row is for the first respondent. First row is for the first respondent. Got it? So you just fill the data now. Some data you can fill, you know, and otherwise, you now know how to enter the data. I will go for whatever the data you have for analysis. Here you have to fill the data, otherwise you can't do analysis. Yes? What shall we do? Okay, I will show you one row how to enter the data. First one. Okay, suppose you forget that whatever categories you are given, go to variable way, you will get here. Okay, so data in sets. First one, I will write 1. I have given male. Isn't it? Male 1, 2, female. Okay, age. I will take 2 categories. I take age. How many categories I have? We have 4 categories. I took 2. Okay, 2. Locality. I will take 2. I have taken rural and urban. Okay. Institution. I have taken university, autonomous, government. Isn't it? So I will take 3. This is according to the information. We are entering. Now, 1, 1. How we have given 1, 1? It is true or false. Am I right? 1 or 2. So, 1 is true. Isn't it? 2 is false. So the next one, suppose the respondent's response is false, then it is 2. If it's true for the next one, it is 1. Now, next 2, 1. What is 2, 1 scale? Strongly disagree to strongly agree. Okay. So, strongly disagree is 1, strongly agree is 5. So, whichever you want to give, you can give here. I gave agree, 1 I gave neutral, another one I gave strongly disagree. Okay? Like this. So whichever the response you get in the first questionnaire, you are filling the first questionnaire now. Suppose you are collecting the information through Google form, so you can convert it to Excel sheet and you can get it. But one problem is, you know, I will deal with when I go for the design, questionnaire design, there are different types of questions. Multiple choice, multiple response, they are different. So you should be very careful. Excel does not deal with that. So data entry also different for that. So 3, 1. So what is 3, 1? 3, 1 it is yes or no. So yes or no. I have given 0 for no and 1 for yes. So I gave 0, 1, 1. You can give your own opinion for the questions. Okay. Then question number 4. What is question number 4? It is never to always. So 4, family and friends. Okay. So my answer is 1. Never.
2.
Social media. You can give your answer. Okay. It is now health and medical profession. Second one, health or medical profession. If you are visited often, okay, or you have gone and contacted them most of the time. Okay, it's left in. I'll give something. Okay, 4, 3, I can go up to 5. So the last one, 5, 1. That is based on not at all concerned to extremely concerned. Feeling no interest, how concerned do you feel about coronavirus? Yes? If you are very much concerned, extremely concerned, fine. Okay. The second one, patientness. Suppose you had experience, yes, otherwise, no, little concern. And the third one is feeling no interest in the things. Okay? Yes. Look. It may be very much concerned or extremely concerned, whatever it is. Okay? So this is how we are. So this completes the first portion. And then you are again say data set. Okay? Then you are to take the second one. Second one and enter. Suppose you have got some 300 question asked, then enter 300. So, if I will show this COVID data, there are so many questions, there are 82 questions actually. And how many respondents? There were 67 respondents. Only 67 responded for this. And what happens is when the sample size is small, we have this is what I said. See the message? You are not installed properly. See, that is the problem. Here Kanaka, he would fill the variable data will be out. And it is giving the message that STS processor is unavailable. Okay, you should be very careful first confirm that.
Madam, could you zoom a little bit? It seems behind they can't. Yeah,
Now here from the software how to zoom.
can't.
Yeah, software.
ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಅದು ಫೋಕಸ್
Because I am not in the presentation.
yeah.
I am not getting here.
No,
We can say it in a C-shape.
control this. Control scroll 100%. You can do it.
Yeah, I am not getting here. That's what I am trying. Because I am not in a presentation. I am not getting the screen size. You can come back there. You can come back. One more thing, this software you learn today and you close your laptop and don't open it for 15-20 days, everything will go. So the softwares are like this, you should be in touch with it regularly. But only through experience you will learn this. Now data entry is clear. Okay, I will go for what I said, what to do for what type of data and how to do using SPSS. Okay? So I told you that suppose you have done some mistake in coding. Okay? How you can rectify it? Suppose you have entered all some 400 data. You can't go on each one and change it, isn't it? You can do that. I will show you how you can do that. Go to transform. Transform. Here in SPSS, go to transform. Okay? If you are confident of what recoding you are doing is correct, then click recoding to save variables. That is what you have now, the variable where you have entered 1 to 5. You should have been 5 to 1. Okay? So if you go into this option, recoding the same variable, that will be replaced your original data. Okay? For example, Q11, I have given 1 to 5. It should have been 5 to 1. If I go to this option, recoding the same variables, my Q11 gets replaced by 5 to 1.
Yes.
Okay? Suppose to be on a safer side, you want it as a some other variable. Okay? Then you go for recoding to different variables. Okay? Or if you want to avoid too many variables, then go for first one. Okay? So now I will go for recoding to different variables to avoid this. Okay? Recoding to different variables. Now, okay. I have here one question from the main side. I will take here. Okay, suppose I am getting the label here. I am not getting the question number. Can you see here? I am getting the label. You want the question number. You do one thing. You keep your cursor here. Left window. Right click. Okay. So go for display variable names. Can you see?
Variable names.
Variable names. You will get this. Got it? You want me to do again? You want me to do again? I close this. I wait to transform. I want to do the recoding. We have done a mistake. Instead of 1 to 5, we type it as 5 to 1. Okay? I will go to recode into different variables. Okay? Then, so somewhere one I take. Okay, here one. Okay, now you can see the label is given now. Right click here. Right click. Click on display variable names. Click on display variable names. You will get this. Okay? Suppose you want this, you can go first. Again, if you click on this, go to display variable labels, you will get that. And if you want it in the alphabetical ascending or descending order, drop down case of that also. But always it's better to go according to the questionnaire numbering. Okay? So, okay. I'll go for this. Now, this one I have to do the recoding. I will click on this and click on the arrow one. So, it will appear in this box. Okay? It will appear in this box. Now, give a name, new name for this now. Okay? I will give Q4 underscore 1 underscore, I will give revised. Okay? This is the revised coding. Okay? So, you can give the name later also. I am just giving changing now. Revised table. I'm just giving revised table. You can copy from the previous one and paste it here. Okay? Okay? Then click on change. Click on change. Then now you have to do the recoding. Click on old and new variables. Click on old and new variables. You will get this box. You can see here old value, here new value. Now I want to reverse. My old one should be 5. Okay? 1 new value, you are giving it as 5. Add. Okay? Now 1 is transformed to 5. My old 2 will become 4. Add. Old 3 will remain as 3. If you don't give this 3, it will give blank. If you won't consider wherever 3, it will give blank. You have to give. Okay? 3. Add. So old 4 will become 2. And old 5 will become 1. Add. So, continue. Okay? 4, 1, 5. I converted now. Okay? Okay. You okay? Now, you see your data set, or first you see variable here. You can see I have got a new variable here. Q41R. Can you see? I got it as a reverse label. I can copy from here and write. But you can see it gives us nominal. You want to change it as scale. By default, always it gives us nominal. We can change it to scale. Okay? Now, cross check the values. So I changed 415. Okay, my 415, first numbers are 43355, 43355. My reverse you see 23311. Can you see that? 2331. So you need not do individual. Everything you can select and do this coding. Those are that particular scale. You can do together. So entire data set will change. Okay? If you are very much confident in what you are doing, then replace with the same variable. You only have some extra variables. Is it clear? Okay. So there are many options here in transform. You can rank, okay, you can do some computation, etc. Okay, you can obtain the median of so many questions, mean of so many questions, etc. So you have asked on a Likert scale. So for example, emotional quotient. After that emotional quotient, you ask many questions. You want one value for emotional coefficient. You want to get the average of that, everything. So that can be done using this. So, okay, I will go with now analyze. Analyze. Descriptive statistics. Analyze. I'm going for the descriptive analysis. Descriptive statistics. First option, frequencies. This is the first step of analysis. Frequencies. Okay? Here, you take only the categorical variables. Frequencies. Categorical means what? Nominal and ordinal. So you are giving your frequency table. Percentage analysis you are doing. So I have gender. You can take one of them or you can take all of them together. Okay? You can copy the table to your Word file later. So you can take all of them. I'll take so region, native place, degree here what I have. So I took this all nominal I took now. You can see these are that's why I told you the selected all nominal. Now, can you see here display frequency table by default there is a flag mark? Can you see down? Display frequency table. So if it is there, you will get a frequency table. Okay? So I will go for OK now. I will not go for remaining things. I will go for later. I am doing percentage analysis now. So go for OK. Now the third window appears. What is that third window? Output window. So this window is called output window.
After variables, what you have, what the buttons you have?
I will go back. Analyze.
Yes, frequency.
Descriptives, frequencies. Okay? I selected the variables. By default, display frequency table is there.
Yes.
That's all. I just clicked on OK. Click on OK. Okay?
Yeah.
Suppose you don't want the frequency table, you have to do this. Okay? So first step, you want frequency table. So click OK. Can you see?
Yes.
In the frequent first, so I am getting gender. Here the label is given as gender only. So I am getting as gender. So suppose, okay, I will change there. You can change later also, no problem. It is given gender only. Gender of the respondents. Okay? Now I will go for it. Frequencies. You can see I got the heading. Gender of the respondent. That is what I said. In label, what you type, you get it as a table heading. Okay? Now, what do you understand from here? See, gender, male and female. There are 67 respondents. Out of 67, 21 males and 46 females. What is the percentage? 31% males and nearly 69% it is female. 68.7 is almost 69%. So these things you need now. When we will consider this valid percent and cumulative percent when there are missing observations. If there are one or two missing observations, based on the available, for example, there are 100 observations, you have only 98, 2 are missing. So here it will give 2 missing observations when you go for that. But valid percent, 98 only consider as a total number of available observations, out of which it gives the percentage. Okay, if you want, I will show you that. I'll go to data view. Okay, gender. I removed 2 gender here. Empty. I don't have now. Empty. Okay, I'll go to analyze. Descriptive, frequencies. Okay, I selected the again. Okay, okay. Can you see here the difference? I am getting missing system 2. That means 3% is missing there. Isn't it? But you see the next one, I am getting 100%. That is out of 98. He considers only the 98 observations, 65 observations. That 65% observations are taken 100%. This is the difference. Okay? When you are missing observation, you take this percent. Okay? But it's better to avoid missing observations. Always. Okay? Yes. So this is the percentage analysis. So you can give the percentage table like this. And this is for the exploration of the respondent profile. I think always the first chapter is this. Respondent profile or exploring. So percentage analysis. What is the majority representation of the respondents of which age group? Okay, all this. Of course, some prefer tables, Some prefer only charts. Some prefer tables with the charts. Okay? So how to go for this chart? I will tell you in tomorrow session. Diagram and graph. You can go for charts also, the presentation. Okay? So this is percentage analysis. You can go for the ordinal data also. I think I don't have ordinal. Don't have ordinal. Okay, I think. Just try to consider one as ordinal. Analyze descriptive frequencies and just removing it. Okay. I have an ordinal here. Increasing order. Okay. I made strongly disagree to strongly agree as ordinal. And I got the percent. Even for interval you will get percentage. If you want the percentage of this, you will get. Okay. But usually we give the mean and the standard deviation for this together for all questions. So it is like parameter wise. Some physical concepts will be there, some emotional concepts will be there, some psychological other factors will be there. So based on that you give the averages together. Okay, now next, analyze descriptive. I will go to frequencies only. I will remove this display. I don't want, already I have done this frequency table. I am removing this frequency table. Okay. Now, you have to select a particular category variables only. First you select all nominal, next you select ordinal, and next you select scale. Now I am going for descriptive analysis. So I am selecting gender, religion, native place, degree, etc. everything. And when I put into this box, these are the variables selected for analysis. Okay? Okay, I selected nominal. Okay, now I have to go for statistics. I selected nominal. I am going for the descriptive analysis. Now, tell me what I have to select now. I explained to you, Molly. I selected nominal. Yes. First, center tendency. Center tendency, more. Center tendency for nominal is more. Then, what? Dispersion. Is it? For nominal. Nominal. That's why I told you that basics should be clear for you. Nominal. It should be range. Minimum, maximum, range. So select minimum, maximum. Range is maximum minus minimum. Select this. Continue. Continue. Okay. Can you see? You are getting here. In one table, gender of respondents, first total number of observations, religion, native place, degree. You are getting more, then range, then minimum, then maximum. See, you may have a range from 1 to 5. You have defined in a variable range 1 to 5. But your data set may have from 1 to 3 only. You may not have any respondents who have opted for 4 and 5. That is what you are revealing here. Got it? Range. Range So while giving interpretation, you have to come back to your original structure of the question. Okay, so you will get the range in your data set, minimum and maximum. So now this is for harmonic. Now for I will take the next one, ordinal. Okay, I'm going for ordinal. Select one set of ordinal now. So what I have to select? Yes, I have to go for median, then interquartile range. Interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1. You won't get here, you will get somewhere, I tell you that. But here what you can get, say Q3 is P75 and Q1 is P25. You click on percentiles. You click on percentiles. Okay? Click on percentiles. Or okay, you have quartiles here. Click on quartiles. Percentiles which will specify 25%, 75%. Okay, click on quartiles. Click on quartiles. Okay? Click on quartiles. You will get IQR. I will tell you where you will get later. Okay? Now, I will go for continue. Okay. You can see we are getting, you have clicked for quartiles, but you can see your output is in percentiles only. Am I right? See the output. P25, P50, P75. P25 is Q1, P50 is median, and P75 is Q3. Output is used in percentiles only. So rather than quartiles, we always give interpretation in percentiles. Okay? So all of these are partition values. Either it comes to percentiles. Any percentile you can get. Any percentile. You know what this partition values gives, isn't it? Suppose I say, okay, what is your conclusion? I got P75 equal to 5. What is the meaning of this? What is the inference of this? So, below 5, 75%, above 5, 25%. Okay? You don't have above 5. Okay? So, 75% okay, of the observations are having the value less than or equal to 5. 25% of the observations are greater than 5 times. Okay, for example, I will get P60 is equal to 75% marks. P60 equal to 75%. I get this. The meaning of this is P60 means remaining 40%. So the 40% of the students scored above 75%. P60 I got 75%. That is 40% of the students scored above 75%. So that is the interpretation. That is how in the competitive exams they calculate percentiles. Percentage partition values are called as quantiles. They put it as quantile. Okay, so it's based on this. So I fix. I want only 50,000 candidates for the second round. Okay, what is the percentage of 50,000? So fix your percentage. So what is the cutoff? We will get from here. Okay. Yes. I will go to scale now. By the way, you got here P25, P75, which is Q1 and Q3. But what you need? Interquartile range. What is interquartile range? Q3 minus Q1. So P75 minus P25. 5 minus 4, that is 1. Range is 1. So variation is only 1, which is low. Okay, so this may be taken as a representative figure 5. Variation is very, very low. Okay, so now I will go to scale, analyze, frequencies. Okay, there are some scales. I'll take some of them. Scales. Now, go to statistics. What I will select? Mean. Then, yes, I will go for standard. If you want, you can go for variance also. You can get skewness and kurtosis also. Symmetricity. Okay, you can get that also. Continue. Okay. So I selected some 5 scale variables. So I am getting here, see, I have one missing observation here. You can see that one missing is there. I removed it for some time. Okay, so 0, 0. So when you get this, you have to give treatment for this. First you see missing observations. By oversight that might be 1. So you follow. So now, mean is I am getting government website 3.3. How concerned do you feel about the coronavirus COVID-19? I am getting 3.54, almost 4. It is very much concerned. Okay. 4 is 5 is extremely concerned. Right? So next, this is faintness 1.81. I think it is something not frequently. I think, isn't it? So it is in the second category, almost disagree level, almost, isn't it? From 3 onwards it starts agree level, and then feeling no interest in things 3. It is in the middle level. It is in the middle level. You have to come back to the scaling there. So the present there. So what percentage are moderate, what percentage are like extremely concerned about it, all those things. Okay? And there then comes 2, nervousness or shakiness inside. Okay? So impact of corona. So I'm getting to like it is in the second level. It is in the second level. Okay? And I'm getting the standard deviation also. Here 1.3, 1.1. Here 0.94, very low standard deviation. Here 1.3, 1.173. So usually more than 3.5, the standard deviation is not recommended. We usually give 3, normal distribution, minus 3 sigma, plus 3 sigma. Usually we give 3, but more than 3.5 standard deviation is not recommended. So you have to look into your data set. So variation, because you can't take that, the mean as a representative figure. That. Okay. So this is about measures of central tendency. You can obtain it using the other one of descriptives. Descriptives also you have option, but not what you got in frequencies. Okay, I will select one, gender, okay, nominal. I will go for options. You can see by default this one only. We have mean, standard deviation. You don't have mode, but for gender we wanted mode. So this descriptives you can go only for scale data. For scale data you can use this descriptives, not for other. So it is always better to go for the first option only, where you can select what you want for which type of variables. Okay, and but there is one advantage of this descriptives. Okay, that is, you can see here, save standardized variables. So standardization of the variables, where the variables are not normally distributed, we go for this. You will get the standardized normal variable. What is the standardizing? Subtract its mean divided by the standard deviation. So this automatically does that. So you will get a separate variable which are standardized values. For example, age is not normally distributed. So take age here, go for standardization, you will get the standard. I don't know whether age is normally distributed or not. But the demographic profiles we don't take as it is to test the normal distribution. Normal distribution is required for testing, isn't it? So again, what you want to test based on what? I want to test something based on gender. Then based on gender only you want to test the normality. Is that clear? Not just like that. Okay? So Okay, everything you will get in this. Explore. Okay, I want to test one scale. Okay, I took one news media. I don't think this data set is normally distributed, most probably, because I have only 67 observations. Okay, anyhow, let me do test. Okay, based on gender. Factor is gender. Okay, I want to compare this news media based on gender. This is one of my objectives. Whether there is any significant difference between male and female. So I took this based on gender. If you want the statistics for these males and females, you will get that. By default descriptives are there. Okay, continue. Here we have plots. You can see plots. You go for normality plots with the test. You have to go for normality plots with the test. You will get box plot, statistic chart, everything. Okay? And histogram also you will get. Okay? So, continue. Continue. Okay. Remaining zone 1. You can see a display. If you want only the statistics, you don't want the plots, then go for the statistics. Okay? You want the plots only, you don't want the statistics, click for plots. You want both, then you go for both. Okay? So I selected both now. Okay? I will go for both. Yes. You can see I selected news media based on gender, male and female. I am getting the descriptives male and female separately. Can you see here? I am getting the descriptives male and female separately. Okay? Here. And you can see the test for normality. Can you see that? Okay, I have 67. Somewhat large sample I can take. Okay? So, but according to the analysis, what is required parametric test is not large sample. So, if I look into both, now can you come to the conclusion? P value is the last significant value. I told you, based on P value, how to conclude. Can you tell me? What is the conclusion now? Okay, in the normality test, what is the null hypothesis? You should have all those in mind. In normality test, what is the null hypothesis?
It is not normal.
No, they are normally distributed.
Okay.
Observations are normally distributed. That's the null hypothesis. They are normally distributed. Now, you see the significant value, both in Colombo or Shapiro's, not everything. You can refer any one of them. Small means you go for Shapiro, large means you go for Colombo. Okay? What is your conclusion? What is your P value, significant value?
Male is significant.
Male 0.000 for Colombo and for female 0.008. Isn't it? It is very small. So what's your conclusion?
It is significant. So null hypothesis has to be rejected.
Yes, our data set is not normally distributed. We are rejecting the null hypothesis. So P small, we are rejecting the null hypothesis. So one more thing, we are getting P equal to 0.000. You should not write P equal to 0.00. It is not displaying all the values. Okay, there are other values. It may be 0.0005. There will be. So always it's better to write P less than 0.01, P less than 0.05, but don't write 0.00. But it's not the exact value there. Okay, so you can see 0.000 means less than 0.01, 0.005 or 0.008. They are also less than 0.01. So we are going to reject the null hypothesis, whatever be the test, isn't it? So it is not normally distributed. Okay? So this data set is not normally distributed. So we have to try for the transformation techniques by looking at the shape of the distribution. Okay, then we can get just normal light. Next question. So you see here, that's what I said. Here we have skewness and its standard error. Can you see the skewness and standard error? It is 0.01 by 0.501. 0.041 divided by 0.501. If it is greater than 1.96, okay, it is not normally distributed. If it is less than, not normal light, normally it is normal light. Less than it is just a normal light. Okay, so we have to calculate this 0.041 by 0.501. I think this is greater than, okay, 1.96. This side minus 1.96, this side plus 1.96. Okay, why 1.96? It is the standard normal table value for 5%, 1.96. Okay, now let us confirm it with the graphical presentation. Okay, yes. Now, QQ plot. See the observations. You can see the one value is lying bit far than this, isn't it? We have only 60 observations. If we had got the more observations, we would have got a beautiful distribution of the observations. You would have got the pattern, but you can see it is in this shape, S shape almost. Okay? Here also. And okay, see the box plot. Can you see the box plot? Can you see the middle line in the male? It is not there at all. Isn't it? Here at least for female, there is some indication of normality. Isn't it? I think I have not seen that female value. Yeah, 0.001 by 0.354. I think it is greater than 1.96. Okay? So, how much? Okay, this is almost like a normal distribution. Not exactly like, so for female I can take as normal distribution, but male I don't have median in picture, but there is median. You can see the upper value is Q3 is thick one. So median and Q3 is coincident. So right side, median has gone up to P75. Okay, center. So high skewness is there in this. So this is far away from normality. But there are no outliers. If there are outliers, we will get them outside. Start with the numbers. There are no outliers. But the observations themselves are not in a particular symmetric order. Okay? And some have even only one type of answers. Okay? Maybe towards agree, strongly agree, or disagree, strongly disagree. So there is not much randomness, so we are getting this. Okay? So it is better to check your data set for females and compare the males and females. Okay? So then, of course, can we go for transformation? We are in a Likert scale. But transformation, when it is in a ratio scale, we go for logarithmic transformation. Okay? Logarithmic transformation, power transformation, like how to do the transformation. We will go to transform, compute. We go to compute, transform, compute. Okay? And right here, a variable name, corresponding variable name, I think what I selected, which is 1 minute. I selected news media, isn't it? Which is the question number? Q414. Okay, Q414. Okay. Transform, compute variable. I'll give Q414 transform. Or suppose you are going for log, you give logarithmic transformation. So here I come here. Okay, you come here click on arithmetic. Click on arithmetic. Okay, from here you have log 10 and ln. Can you see that? Log to the base 10 and log to the base e. You know common logarithm and natural logarithm. Okay, you select ln. Double click on that ln. Double click. You can see it comes here. So inside the bracket there is question mark. Delete that question mark. Now which one you want to transfer? Q414. So I have to see this Q414. Okay, this is the one Q414. So I will shift it to inside the bracket. You don't type. Click on the variable. Click on this arrow bar. It will go and fit it inside the bracket. Is that clear? So I am going for the logarithm transformation. ln Q414. I am transforming this variable. So then okay. I'll go for okay. Now where you will get? You will get it in your data set. Go to data set. You can see I have one variable here. I can view label log transform variable. Okay. Now what is the value? Go to data view, last column. Can you see that? I am getting the ln transform observation. ln transform. Okay. Now go to analyze, descriptives, explore. I remove this news media. I will go to this log transform and select it. What I transform now, just now. Okay, everything unless you close this SPS, whatever the settings you have selected will remain. Okay, so okay. Now let me just see what I am getting. Again, minus 0.602, 0.501. No, here not much improvement. For female and male I have to see. No, I am not getting. Isn't it? The box plot has gone down, but not much improvement. Because the sample size, first of all, sample size is very low. Okay? Now, the second step, I didn't get in log. Now, what I do is, I standardize it. Okay? So, go to analyze. Go to analyze. Descriptives. Descriptive statistics. Go to descriptives. Go to descriptives. Okay? Now, shift this log transform what you have to the right hand side and click on save standardized values. I am standardizing that. Okay? This is the next step of normalization. Okay? So, okay. Okay. I go for okay. Again, I will get, see the log transform variables mean is 0.9424 and the standard deviation is 0.55, very very low standard deviation I am getting. Okay. Now I will see in my data set standardized values. You can see Z. Can you see Z? Last one. You have Q414 log. Next is Z. Z means standardized. That is the symbol for standardized normal variable. Z. So this is the standardized variable. Okay. Again you can try explore. I am taking log transform and I am using Z standardized value. Okay. No. Okay. Female there is improvement, but not in male. Okay. Female it has almost come center, but it. So when the sample size is small, we cannot expect normality, whatever you do. So what we do is, we generate some observation. The different set of data is there, we generate some observations, okay, and then try to get the normality. Because for generating also if there is a rule, we can't generate going on genetic observations. We can maximum is 20%. We can go for it. If we are not getting in spite of that, then we will use non-parametric testing. Okay, so this is the procedure of normalization. Okay, so then you need a break.
Want a break? Yes, sir. We'll have.
Next question I reasoning is there. Shall I continue with tomorrow's correlation regression?
Okay.
Question I reasoning is there again.
Okay, fine. After 10 minutes?
Yeah, 10 minutes.
Huh? Break for 10 minutes. null hypothesis.
All this is equal. Equal to something.
So it is rejected. So what is the null hypothesis? So they reject and say that there is
Statistics developed in the theory, it's H naught, we say that theta equal to average is equal to some value. Or there is no difference between the averages of the alternatively they are not equal. No, not theory conditions is what it is.
so they are all half here. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಕೈ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಏನೋ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ.
ಸರ್ ಮೊಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಒಳಗಿಟ್ಟೆ.
ಹಾಂ
ಜಿಮ್ಮಲ್ ಮಿನಿಗೆ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಸರ್ ಕೈ ಹತ್ತೊಂಬತ್ತು ಅದು
ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಕುತ್ಕೋಬೋದಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜಿಗೆ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಕುತ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೋದಾ ಚಾರ್ಜಿಗೆ?
ಅಷ್ಟು ಉದ್ದ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂರ್ತೇನೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ
ಅಷ್ಟು
ಚೇರ್
ಉದ್ದ ಅಷ್ಟು ಉದ್ದ ಇದೆಯಾ ವೈರ್?
ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ
ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಯಾರು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸರಿ ಸರಿ ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
Shall I start?
ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ
Shall I start?
ಎಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
Yes. In the process of collection of information, when we use a particular instruments, maybe a questionnaire or schedule, usually three types of persons are involved. One is called investigator, enumerator, and respondent. Investigator is a principal investigator who is in charge of the project or the research. And respondents are the one who supplies information. Enumerators are the mid-persons who collect the information from the respondents and hands it over to the investigator. So, when the enumerators are involved in between, the investigators won't be having any contact with the respondents. Only the enumerators will be having. So, depending on the intensity of the study or the coverage of the samples, sometimes if you want to make a study in Karnataka, so you have to go to each and every place. You may have some time constraints. So you can appoint some local agents and you can tell them to collect the information, but they should be properly trained how to collect the information. Okay? So accordingly, we have two types of instruments for collecting the information. That is, we have schedule and questionnaire. There is a difference between questionnaire and schedule. Both look same. It's a list of questions. But questionnaire is filled by the respondents. Questionnaire is filled by the respondents only. Whereas schedule is filled by the enumerators or the investigators based on the responses given by the respondents. So you are not giving that questions to the respondents to fill it, but you are collecting the information and you yourself is filling. Okay? Sometimes we have to go for schedule because the language problem. So you have framed your questionnaire in English and you go to a rural area where they don't know to read and write English. So then you have to translate your questions to the language which they know. Then you have to get the answer, translate and then enter here. Or sometimes even if they are educated, suppose you go to Kerala, so some of them they will not answer when the questions are in English, etc. So they want in their own language. So you may have to appoint somebody there who knows the local language and collect that information. But when we go for schedule, we should be very, very careful because especially when we are sending the enumerators. So enumerators are filling the responses given by the respondents. So how the enumerators will interpret the responses given by them, that we won't be knowing. And the enumerators may manipulate the information also, isn't it? So in such cases, from the investigator, the cross verification of the data collected should be done always to maintain the validity and the reliability of the questionnaire. Okay. So we have two types of questionnaire depending on the type of research, that is descriptive and analytical questionnaire. So what is the purpose or what is the difference between these two types of questionnaire? So descriptive questionnaire explores the attributes, the demographic profile of the means it says how many are present. That's all. Why they are present, it will not give the answer. Okay, what is existing? What is the present status? That's all. And what is the reason for it? It will not be. That's called as descriptive research, and that the questionnaire designed for it is called descriptive questionnaire. So it is a document related to a particular issue or topic. So what exists at the moment, what the research subject rather than why it is. Okay, and sample should be a perfect representation of the population for descriptive research. Okay, you have to take care of the sample size. For example, percentage of people who support the decision Why they support? You are not bothered. So how many are supporting? How many are not supporting? That's called the descriptive research, and the questionnaire developed for that is called descriptive questionnaire. The next comes analytical questionnaire, where we are all, very much interested in research. So the analytical questionnaire, it explores the relationship between the certain concepts or the factors or the variables, focuses more on why, okay, so why it is happening, what are the reasons, etc. So it gives us the cause and effect relationship, and also statistical stability is there if you maintain the proper sample size. For example, you can examine the influence of social media on the preference of sports by the college students. Okay, if they are preferring particular sports, is there any influence of the particular social media? So if so, what type of influence, how they are getting influenced by the particular social media, and why? Okay, all these questions are answered in analytical questionnaire. Okay, what are the steps in designing the questionnaire? The first step is research objectives. So first you have to write down in clear-cut words what are the objectives of your research. Okay, so define the objectives and the brief description of what the research is trying to achieve or where you want to reach, and what activities you are going to conduct. And for example, that is, it is again dependent on your objectives. So objectives are the statements what you are making. So it covers the entire research. Okay. So for example, to identify the influence of viral marketing on buying behavior among students. Okay. So this is one of your objective. So then we convert into hypothesis in statistical analysis. So first you keep your objectives in mind while framing the designing the questionnaire, because your questionnaire should give information whether to prove or to disprove the objectives. If you don't have the information related to your objectives, then it will be very difficult to come to the inference. So first of all, you write down the objectives and write down the questions, okay, so which gives information to prove or disprove the objectives. So afterwards, in statistical analysis, we convert that objectives to hypothesis. Of course, if you have one objective to prove or disprove, we may have to go for several tests, several hypotheses we may have to frame. Okay, so not that with one hypothesis we come to a particular conclusion. So we may have to go for several tests to prove or disprove the objective. The second one, you have to answer the question, what type of information you need. First, you clearly write down the objectives. Next, what type of information you need, like which and your research. Okay, the type of information that you require usually depends on the type of research. That's what I said, descriptive, analytical. Okay, so descriptive says what is existing, but analytical says why, isn't it? So first of all, it should be clear. So what type of research you are going for, then only you can decide the type of the information. Then different discipline has different focus. So when you write the objectives only, so you should be very careful. So what are the dimensions you are going to cover? That's what I said. Is it the psychological impact? Is it the emotional impact? Is it the physical impact? Is it the social status impact? Isn't it? So first of all, you have to define this in clear-cut words. Then only you will be able to frame the questions. So decide what type of information you need. Okay. For example, I gave you an example to find the influence of viral marketing with buying behavior among students. So viral marketing and buying behavior, these are the two variables. So I want to find the influence of marketing on buying behavior. So I can target this on two dimensions. One is psychological, another one marketing perspective. Okay. So this also you have to define in advance. So then only you will be able to frame the questions, because this gives you the type of the information that you require, because you require information based on the psychological concept and as well as marketing concepts. Okay, so the types of information, after deciding about that, the dimensions, the next step is, so decide about the attributes, behavior and experience, knowledge, attitudes and opinions. These four are entirely different. Attributes. Attributes, yes, are the socio-economic variables, what we call the demographic variables. That is, we say that in a question and there are three parts. Part A, Part B, Part C. Part A explores the personal information of the respondents. Okay, and the Part B, it is the main body. Okay, which focuses on your research objectives. And Part C deals with bit complicated questions. Okay, bit complicated, and also cross-checking or cross-verification of what is asked in Part B. Okay, whether the information given by them is reliable, consistent, which you can make out from Part C. So usually we go for three parts. So attributes is the first part, the demographic profile. Second one, the behavior and experience. So behavior is different, experience is different, isn't it? So attributes describe the population under study, that's gender, age, geographical location, salary, etc. So in general, the demographical information that we get, which is the categorical variable. So what is the difference between behavior and experience? So what they are doing is a behavior, and what they have done is an experience. So there is a difference. So whether there is an influence of experience on the behavior. Okay, so we can study this. So you have to identify the questions under behavior, under experience. Okay, and then so I have given one question. How often do you use digital ballot for payment? So behavior of the participants on digital ballot usage first. Not collecting the attributes, but more focused on behavior and experience. Okay, do they have digital ballot or no? Those come in the attribute section. Okay, so what is the behavior and what is the experience of using this digital ballot? So that should come under the behavior and experience. Or again, how often do you exercise for physical fitness? Okay, so all these are behavior and the experience questions. And the next one, that is under type of information, the next concept is knowledge. Again, so the knowledge is nothing but the awareness of the respondents on a particular concept under study. Suppose the respondents are not aware of what you are asking, then if you ask questions based on that, what answers you can expect? Isn't it? For example, you ask some questions related to some rare games. Okay, maybe what are those? Maybe your squash or golf, etc. Such games you ask somebody, okay, about it. Okay, if you ask questions, they may give you some answers. First of all, you should know the level of awareness, or ask the level of awareness on the sports policies of the government. Okay, so if you are making the research on the sports policies of the government, okay, first of all they should have awareness on the policies. Then only they will be able to give you the merits and demerits of those policies. So first you focus on the level of awareness. So knowledge targets on the level of awareness, factorial knowledge, but not the opinions and the attitudes of the respondents. So awareness is not the opinion. Okay, when you are aware of it, you will get an opinion, isn't it? Or the attitude towards that particular concept from the respondents. So first they should have the awareness on it. So first you ask questions on awareness, and then you go to tackle on opinion and attitudes. So these are the type of information which is required. Okay, attributes, behavior and experience, knowledge, and then opinion and the attitudes. So do you know about the facility of personal banker for your banking service? So this is what attitude attitude and opinions. That is crucial in some of the areas of research. So you need some information on certain issues. What is the opinion on certain issues? So if they are aware of it, then what is your opinion on it? Okay. So maybe the customer satisfaction, product quality opinion, player satisfaction. So which are very vital in marketing and sports research. Opinion polls are very common. The performance of the players, satisfaction level of the players, or the customers, etc. So when you go for the satisfaction level, first of all they should have used it, isn't it? Particular product. They should have used that product. Okay? If they have not used, then if you ask the level of satisfaction, what you will get? Isn't it? So first of all, the respondents must have exposed to particular concept under study. So then only you can go to ask about their opinion and attitude towards it. Next one, of course, after deciding about type of the information, now you categorize them. Whether you are going for nominal, whether you are going for the ordinal, interval or ratio. You give the categories for the questions. So what type of categories you are going to give? Is it the nominal type, ordinal type, interval type or ratio? So the format for collecting the data or information, how you are going to collect, and then method of measuring the information, that is the scale which you are going to fix. So you have, after the type of information, you go for type of data, which measure you are going to use. So that is what. So which is nominal scale? Again, gender, region, marital status, ordinal scale, income, age, preference rank, interval, usually the Likert scale, what you give, okay, and the ratio scale is just like fill in the blanks, okay. So, ordinal scale, rank your feature preference while buying a mobile, okay. You can give these questions. Rank your feature preference while buying the mobile. So, are you looking into camera, processor, memory, screen size, battery life? You have to rank with first rank for what? Second rank, third rank, fourth rank, like this. So, you can ask this type of questions also, but data entry you have to be careful. For each there should be one variable. There should be one variable for each. So, you will come to know their attitude. You will come to know their attitude towards it. So, interval scale, how important is physical fitness in your life? Okay. So, most important, neutral, least important, thing or they may tell you. How likely is that you would recommend our institution to your friends and family members? I am giving you different types of questions, how you can ask. How likely is that you would recommend our institution to your friends and family members? You can see there is a scale. 1, not at all likely, and 10, extremely likely. So they will mark somewhere there. Okay, so you can ask this type of questions for interval scale. Okay, so why you have to categorize them as nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio? So everything is given. Frequency distribution you can get for all, but interval you can get. Ratio you have to convert them into categorical variable and then you can get the frequency distribution. Or you can get the frequency distribution, but you have to convert them into categorical variable and then get the frequency distribution. Of course, you know that mode is for nominal. You will get for ordinal, interval and ratio, but we don't use it. You can get the mode for all of them, but median, ordinal, you won't get it for nominal. You can get it for interval and ratio, okay, but we don't recommend it. Mean is only for interval and ratio. Differences, addition, multiplication, everything is for only interval and ratio. Okay, the range, interquartile range is for the ordinal. If you take just maximum minus minimum, it is for nominal. And even for ratio, you can get the range. Okay, by obtaining the quartiles, you can get the range, quartile range. Then standard deviation is for the interval and ratio. You know that for scale, we go for standard deviation. So these are the measures we can obtain. That is why you should be very specific when you go for the type of the data. So what you need, everything depends on your objectives. Okay. So how do we go for questionnaire design? The foremost requirement of any questionnaire is first one, you should have clear-cut questions. Clear-cut questions means the questions should spell out your objectives. So which will extract the answers from the respondents. These questions will extract the answers from the respondents. Okay? And the question should be, of course, the question should be neither difficult nor easy. But even the framing the questions, it is not so easy, not so difficult. So questionnaire designing is an art. So you will get a good questionnaire only by experience and knowledge on the topic understanding. Unless you have the knowledge, you cannot prepare a questionnaire, proper questionnaire. Okay? Probably in the beginning, you may have to waste so many papers while preparing the questionnaire. Okay? And after writing all possible questions, then you go for the logical ordering of the questions. Okay? So next, so you should be very careful while using the words in questions. Okay? Especially sensitive questions and the words. You should use non-abusive, non-threatening, and your questions or the words that you use must be motivating your respondent. They should feel like giving you responses. Give that responses. So that is why. So you should be very careful while using the words for questions, and as far as possible, let it be clear for understanding. Don't use high English, ornamental English languages, which the people cannot understand. Use a local language only, okay, common English language if you are saying in English or in Kannada language, so that the respondents can easily understand, can give you the reliable information. So there must be clearness, there must be clarity, so which leads to the building interest in the respondent. If they get confused, surely they will hesitate to give you the responses. Okay? If there is clarity, so surely they will provide you the information. So the prepared questions must be self-explanatory rather than confusing questions that may end up with unanswered. So your questions, without you explaining about the questions, okay? By reading the questions, only the response should be able to understand what you want from them. That's what self-explanatory, without your interference there. So otherwise they get confused. So it may remain unanswered, especially in what you send in a Google form. You may say mandatory. Without answering that, you can't go for the next one. And you can imagine what type of answers you get from that. Okay. Next one. So we convert the research objectives into the information needed. So the first step to frame the questions is drawing from the objectives. Your questions is for each objective. First you take the first objective. For that, write down all possible questions which will serve your objective. So take one by one objectives and then write down the questions. Afterwards you can go for logical ordering of the questions. First you write down all possible questions for each objective. So the questionnaire must spell out the research question that the study is going to address, and the variables of study should be properly defined. Okay, of course, when you have to write proper questions, what variables you require, you should know about it. Okay, but keep in mind each and every objectives and then frame the questions. Then specify the information which the study needs. So once these tasks are accomplished, the researcher can move ahead with the question framing through objectives. For example, to ascertain the nature of existence of environmental factors in the workplace and its influence on the work-life balance. So, you know, some of you, the physical directors or directors, you have to play 3 roles, I think. One in your institution, one family life, another your personal sports you may have, isn't it? How do you balance, isn't it? So is there any positive impact from your institution? okay, or from your family. So is there any work-life balance you want to study? Or to execute the policy measures causing the work-life imbalance among the respondents. So what are the factors which are influencing for the imbalance in the work-life environment? Okay, so if a researcher wants to study work-life balance of employees, identify the specific variables. Work-life balance means what are variables you want to target. Okay, so that you have to specify. Okay, some questions, possible questions here. Does your co-worker support you in distress? Okay, yes or no? Does your co-worker behavior influence your work life? Okay, or does your management encourage you to achieve the goals of the organization? Okay, or if yes, what type of encouragement they have adopted? By providing incentives, appreciation, or any other. Suppose personally if you are in a sports field, okay, so if you have got some medals by spending your personal time, how your institution is recognizing it. Okay, so which will be one motivating factor for anybody to take part and to balance, okay, the environment. Okay, does your organization support you at the time of distress? Okay, you go and represent your college to some school, you lose and come back, then what is, right? What is the behavior of the management toward that particular sports team or your sports activity? So do they remain safe always? Okay, so do they accept like the sports spirit, the defeat and win the same way the management? Okay, so all these things. So if yes, have you ever undergone distress? Okay, so yes or no. So like this, you can frame the questions on work-life balance. So as far as the policy-making decision is concerned in work-life balance, so do you have convenient work hours at workplace? Or are you satisfied with the salary for your work? This is about the management faculty. Okay, so are you satisfied with that? So are you satisfied with the leave policy of your workplace? Suppose you have to go for your personal representing the college. Can you go on boarding or you have to apply here and go, isn't it? So all those things, do you have that facility? Are you satisfied with the health policy of your workplace? Okay, so these are the policy decisions, policy measures. So this also contributes to the work-life balance. Okay, so how many questions you can take? So there should be minimum of 4 to 5 questions for any. Okay, you can go up to 45 or more, but depending on the objectives. But don't go beyond 60. You will be testing the patience of the respondents. More than 60. Okay, suppose you have to go for more than 60. You make 2 questions. Don't try to get the responses same time. Okay, you will not get. First of all, they should have their time. They are sacrificing their time for your sake, isn't it? So 45 is the suggested one. Maximum 60. By looking at the question order, they will say, no, I don't have time to give answers to this. So keep that in mind. Okay. So minimum 4 to 5. Okay, you can go up to maximum 45, but not more than 60. But whatever the questions you frame, keep your objectives in mind. So while framing the questions based on the objectives, so researcher will get an idea of the area of the study. You will get an idea about the area of the study. Now, content of the questionnaire. So in this stage, first of all, you determine the matter to be included as questions and concluding the points what I said there. Matter to be included. Then whether to include or omit certain questions. Next, later stage, whether to include it or omit it, that you take the decision. And then carefully ascertain the objectives, needs and questions would be covered before using any of the framing questions. Again you look into, you have framed the questions according to the objectives. Just you try to answer yourself. Is it giving information for your objectives? So again cross-check it, and so how the researcher feels that certain questions are interesting and thus might include it in the questionnaire later. Again, while going through it again, you may feel that, oh, I should have included this question, right? So this is quite interesting and this may attribute to my objectives. So you can again include the questions there, okay? But keeping the limitations of the questions. Okay, here is one the researcher has to ask first of all. So first of all, when you go for the interview or the collection of the information, so first you try to build a rapport between the respondents and yourself. So such a friendly atmosphere you have to create, otherwise you will not get the information, especially when you are dealing with some sensitive matters. Okay, so you should be very careful. So here I have some questions. Junk food consumption among youth. Okay, the questions like, do you prefer junk food? Yes or no? So you want to prefer junk food, maybe fried rice, gobi, noodles or any other. Your preferred time of consumption, maybe you can ask morning, midday, evening. How often do you have junk food? So weekly once, weekly twice, weekly thrice, daily. Okay? So you can see there, first question, do you prefer junk food? Okay? Suppose they answer as no. The last question, how often do you have junk food? If they say weekly once, okay, or daily, don't you think it's contradicting? Are you getting my point?
Yes.
So these are some of the double-edged questions. So we are cross-checking the information. Okay? So many times, few of the questions would pose stress on the respondent's memory. Sometimes you will be testing their memory, don't go to do this. For example, when did you buy your car? Who will remember? When did you buy your car? Isn't it? So don't ask that question. If you want to ask that question, give an interval. Okay, time interval in between this and that. At least they can remember. So don't stress on their memory. So here I have some questions which you have to truly avoid. Okay, which creates stress on the respondents. How long do you use mobile phone in a day? Can they give one exact figure? Can you tell me now how long you use mobile phone? Isn't it? You can't give the exact figure, isn't it? Don't ask them. How many questions you have answered during your examination? You go for the entrance test, there will be some 100 questions. Can you get an idea how many questions? Last minute you go on, if there are no negative marks, do you remember? Isn't it? So these questions, you need the information, but you can reframe it like this. You can ask like this. Questions, say, the same questions could be revised and framed as the duration of mobile phone usage in a day. Okay? Give the options. 1 to 2 hours, 2 to 4 hours, 4 to 6 hours, 6 and above hours. Ask like this. The number of questions you have attempted to answer during your exam. 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 35 or 39 and above. So give like this and don't ask the questions like which gives stress to the respondent's memory. So in type of questions, next the type of questions. Okay, there are two types of questions, open-ended and closed-ended. Open-ended means like essay type questions. Okay, closed-ended, there are three types, dichotomous, multiple and scale. Dichotomous means only two response. Okay, so multiple means they can go for one among many responses or they can go for more than one among many responses. At scale, you know, Likert scale. So, but it is always better to avoid open-ended questions, what we call as the unstructured questionnaire. We call it as unstructured questionnaire. So the questions without any options, they are called as open-ended questions like, what is your name? Okay? Then, which is your favorite sport? Okay? You may ask the question, which is your favorite sport? I like tennis because they have to write one essay there, isn't it? Right? Then, with whom you interact during your leisure hour? Okay? Who is your favorite sports personality and why? But don't ask such type of question. You cannot analyze it. Such question. Only thing, last somewhere in the inference you can write something about the base for the information, but statistical analysis cannot be done. On the other hand, closed-ended questions like dichotomous, multiple choice, scaled response. So this is called as a structured questions or structured questionnaire. And like dichotomous, you may go for yes or no, like or dislike, similar or dissimilar. So do you exercise every day? Yes or no? What kind of petrol you use in your car? Normal or premium? Tick the appropriate. Complaints of headache, presence or absence. So this is dichotomous or multiple choice questions where you have to select only one among this, like the salary drawn monthly, less than 25,000, between 25,000, 45 or 45,000 above, and the monthly expenditure. So if you just give your salary, monthly salary dash, you will not get a response. If you give at least like this age, salary and all, very sensitive questions, so you will get the response for it. Okay? So then the scales, as I said, it is disagree very much to agree very much. One of the scales it is, or you can say scaling, which is an extension of the measurement. So if you want to measure the satisfaction level towards the performance in a game, and you can take a scale of 1 to 11 also. 1 is extremely dissatisfied, 11 is extremely satisfied. We go for that odd number. Okay. This is the Likert scale. Okay. So what are the criteria for designing the questionnaire? First of all, clearly specify the issues. Clearly specify the issues. After reading the question, a respondent should be able to understand the information it needs what you require while formulating the questions. The words such as, you may use who, what, when, where, why and how. You may use this, but the first four are applicable to all questions. The why and how may apply to some. As far as possible, why and how try to avoid. Okay? So, first question, you can see that. Which is your favorite sport? You may ask this, but it is the incorrect way of framing the question. Because a respondent may have more than one favorite sport. Am I right? Isn't it? So, which is your favorite sport? So, when he has more than one favorite sport, so this is not the correct question. How you can frame it? Which is your favorite sport or sports? List your choice. Okay? You can ask sport or sports and list favorite sports. Then use simple terminology. Okay? That is what I said. Use the words, don't use technical words or difficult words which are very rarely used in everyday, day-to-day life communication. So you have to avoid it. So many people do not understand them. So it is not advisable to use. So here is one question. Face cream provides your skin fairness. Face cream provides your skin fairness. Actually, it is an incorrect thing because they may not understand what you mean from it. Instead of that, do you think applying face cream into your skin provides fairness? Yes or no? Okay. So first one is suggestion. You want to say it's your decision. You are asking them to tell me whether yes or no, like that. Here you are asking their opinion. Okay? So, next, use simple terminology, like sometimes, bit emotional one, and they may feel that it is bit insulting, you are bit insulting the respondents. Okay? For example, when did you buy jewelry? Okay? When did you buy jewelry? So you may get the answers first, just like you are asking, they may think that you are asking like when did they last visit the jewelry shop to buy it. And it is, sometimes they feel like it is the question of their dignity or the prestige or the status. So they may take it in a negative sense, one would regard it as insult. Okay? So instead of that, when did you last visit the jewelry shop to buy jewelry? When did you last visit the jewelry shop to buy jewelry? Okay? So instead of asking the questions of the first time, you ask like, sometimes you go to the village people. So very rarely they come to town in village because they have to travel near 30 kilometers to come to town. And if you ask them, when did you go to your town? So they feel something because going to town is a prestigious question for them. So instead of that, you can ask this, when did you last visit your town? Okay? So they will give you the answer. Okay, some of the sensitive issues that we call loaded questions. Okay, you can make out how sensitive these questions are when you ask. Okay, so not honest may not admit the answer even when they should about this. Like even if you say that whatever the responses you are going to get is going to remain confidential, you may not get sometimes. So you can see the sensitive questions here. Have you ever had girlfriend or boyfriend? You ask your students. Okay? So, yes or no. You will not get the answer. Okay? So, next. Have you ever cheated your girl or boyfriend? Extremely difficult to get answer. Second one. Have you ever cheated your spouse? So, who will answer these questions? But you need information. So, how will you frame? So, you can frame the questions like this. Do you think most people have girlfriend, boyfriend in their life? General question. Okay, they will surely answer this question. Okay, so do you think most people have girlfriend or boyfriend in their life? Yes, no? If they don't know. Okay, then do you think most of the girls or boys get cheated with their mates? Yes, no, don't know. Okay, so do you think most people usually cheat their spouse? Yes, no, don't. You will get answers to this. Okay, instead of remaining the questions unanswered, it's better to reframe the questions like this. Okay, now this is called double barrel questions. Okay, well, don't ask two concepts in one question. You can see this. Do you think pizza and pastry are filling your appetite? Yes or no? Pizza and pastry. For some, pizza may be filling. For some, pastry may be filling. For some, both may be filling. So, if they say yes, here what is that? Pizza and pastry. Isn't it? But for that, pastry may not be filling. Only pizza may be filling. Am I right? So, this is called double barrel question. Don't ask such questions. So, split into two questions here. It's just like asking. That is traveling by train. Okay? Is it convenient and cheaper for you to travel by train? Okay. It may be convenient for you. It need not be cheaper. It may be cheaper for you, but it need not be convenient. Isn't it? So don't ask. It's called double barrel questions. Don't ask two concepts together. Okay? In one questions. So just to separate the questions. So you can ask the wide variety of popular appetizer that youths prefer. If you don't have sufficient space in your this one to ask, split them, you ask like this. A wide variety of popular appetizer that youths prefer are pizza, pastry, pani puri, and all these. They can mark for any one of them or all of them. Okay. So they can either select one of them or both of them or the last one. Okay, this is called multiple response. You can go for multiple response. Then, what are the physical characteristics or the appearance of a questionnaire? Thinking that's a questionnaire, don't neglect questionnaire. Okay, it's a very important document, questionnaire. So first interface between the two respondents and yourself. So you should be very neat. There should be proper spacing between the questions and between the categories. So it creates the impression for the respondents whether to answer. Some questionnaires I have seen. So in order to reduce the number of pages without leaving any space, so many questions are loaded in one page. You know, they may leave some of the questions also in such cases. And by looking at the way how it is typed, okay, in a particular page, okay, they may feel reluctant to answer the such questionnaires. So just take care of the appearance of the questionnaire, and you have to make certain preparation physical characteristics of the question as, okay? Like, you have to use the best quality paper to print the questionnaire. So if it is printed in a poor quality, it looks unprofessional or casual. So if the questionnaire has too many questions, it's better to staple as well as make it as a booklet so that it would be easy to answer. Okay? So double page format can also be used for questions and the appearance must look like professional. Okay? So you have to give proper spacing, positioning of the questions should be carefully done so that you give enough space for giving the responses for the respondents. So for every question, options has to be printed in the same page. You ask the question here and the options will be in the next page. Don't do that. For each question, options should be in the same page. And one must not crowd the questionnaire with too many questions. And the questions in each part must be serially numbered. You are give the proper numbering of the questionnaire. So which is helpful not only for calculation, for coding and also for further, as I told you, how we enter the variable for further statistical analysis. Okay. So once your questionnaire is ready, okay, first you have to put your feet in your shoes. Okay. You take that questionnaire, try to answer. Okay. Just see whether you get confused somewhere while answering. Okay. Afterwards, you go for a pilot survey. That's a trial survey. So 50 to 60 respondents, go to them and so ask them to answer your question. That's not a final question. So pilot survey helps you to improve the quality of the questionnaire. Sometimes you might have left some questions which you may attribute to your objectives, which you may get from the respondents. They may say some information they will give you. So you may think that this would contribute to your objectives. So you can take that and include that question later when you go for the main survey. And also when you do the pilot survey and you come for the reliability test, okay, we can tell you under reliability test which questions you can omit in this. If it is affordable for you to omit, you can. By omitting which question, you can improve the reliability of the questionnaire. That we can tell you using statistical techniques. Okay? So always it's advisable to go for the pilot survey, which is a small scale replica of the actual survey. Yes. Thank you.
Tomorrow session.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for the informative session. And the tomorrow's session will be continued at 10 o'clock sharp. So please assemble at 9:45.
At 6 p.m. once again we have our lab session. All the interested can stay back and who are interested to volunteer to run on that and come prepared. You got half an hour. Just go to your rooms and change it.
Stop model.